Hi guys, understand something. If you are consistently fighting, you're doing what you have to do, you're trying your best, you know what I mean? And even though there's obstacles, even though, you may trip a couple times, fall a couple times, and you get back up, if you are trying your best, as in you're trying your best, and some of the things that are up against you are literally out of your out of your control, or they're not in your control, but you still try to continue regardless, you're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing. As long as you don't give up, you're doing the right thing. You have to understand something. Yes, the obstacles are annoying, but even the obstacles are still a part of God's plan. You see what I'm saying? Look at Moses and Pharaoh, how there was a big obstacle, and the obstacle was Pharaoh decided to go back after the Israelites, and God ended up taking Pharaoh off the short path and he put him on the longer path so that obstacle can happen in order for Moses to part the sea, right? But when God did that, he did avoid there being a worse obstacle, which was him and the Israelites going back to Egypt. So in order for him to prevent that, he had to put Moses on a longer path, and Moses still had to have that encounter with Pharaoh and his army, right? Point of me saying that is sometimes, I understand we have to fight, and we have to remember what I said about fighting. Fighting doesn't necessarily mean put on your boxing gloves and try to defeat, your obstacles on your own. No, God said, be still, I will fight for you. But the type of fight that God wants us to have is faith. Okay? Faith is like the key. Faith is like your strength, literally. Because once you have enough faith and you actually believe, God is going to make sure and ensure that things work out in his favor for you. Okay? And the reason why I'm saying this is because I was literally thinking about how much times we fight, we get up, we try to do the best we can, and even when we're tired, even when we're sick, we still get up. And sometimes we may be so hard on ourselves and be like, oh man, I didn't even get to do this, or I didn't get to do that, and we may feel like we're being a disappointment to God because we tried to do something, but then something came in between that, and we tried to fight through it, but it was something out of our control. And then we may feel like we're a disappointment, or man, God, I let you down, or oh my gosh, I should have got this done ahead of time, and we start to beat ourselves up. But I want you to understand that God also understands. God knows, because he should understand more than you, because he's the one that knew what was going to happen before it's going to happen. So God knows all the obstacles that are literally you're about to face. He knows that there's some things that are literally out of your control, and it's because plots and schemes of the enemy, or sometimes it's just life itself. Some things may happen, you may be in a rush to get somewhere, and there may be an accident on the road, and then literally you may be in traffic. I just got that analogy because I'm in traffic right now. But you may be in traffic, and then it's you may end up being late to where you had to go, and you may feel like, man, I'm a disappointment. But that situation that happened on the road, you had no control over that. That had nothing to do with you, and that's something that you couldn't have changed, right? So remember, as you guys are going along with your day and your tasks, remember that there's some things that are literally out of your control, and God knows that. God can see that. You see what I'm saying? Don't be too hard on yourself. Remember something, as long as you don't give up, as long as you don't give up, and you are still being obedient, you are still trying, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Let me tell you why I even decided to make this video in the first place. Because when I picked up my son from school, he was talking to me, and I'm like, oh, I'm so tired. Because I had so much things to do today, and I was still doing some things, but I didn't get everything done. And then I have to take him to basketball, which is a drive. Okay, it's a drive. So as he was getting in the car, I was rubbing my eyes, oh man, I'm so tired, and my eyes were closed, and I'm rubbing my eyes, and I literally saw, how God says all you need is faith as small as a mustard seed, one mustard seed. I literally saw a whole pile of mustard seeds. A whole pile of mustard seeds. And I'm like, why am I seeing a pile of mustard seeds? So I started to smile when I saw that. And then I literally heard faith. And then that's when I got the word about, like, because I was going through it too. I got the word about how, like, some things are just not in our control. Like, some things are out of our control, but it doesn't mean that it's still not according to God's plans. It just means, like, some delays are still according to God's plans. And that's when I got the word. So I wanted to share that with you guys. So the fact that God was showing me all those mustard seeds, I know that it means faith. I know it means faith. And I know it means, like, you know, keeping the faith. And, you know, if God says all we need is a faith as small as a mustard seed, the fact there's so many mustard seeds, I know he's talking to majority of us, right? Or it's a situation where our faith is bigger than what we even think. Because you may think that your faith is so small because you may be so hard on yourself. You may want to give up sometimes. You may feel like you're a failure sometimes. So you may think, oh man, God, I deserve to have, you deserve to have more of the glory. You deserve for me to have more faith than what I have. Like, the fact that I only have a little bit of faith, God, I feel like I'm disappointing you. You see what I'm saying? And you may be thinking this way, but the fact that God showed so many mustard seeds, I feel like a lot of us, our faith is actually bigger than what we even think, because the fact that we still get up and we still keep going no matter what, even when there's obstacles that are out of our control, the fact that we don't give up, that means your faith is bigger than what you even can comprehend. You see what I'm saying? And remember what God said, if you don't believe, he cannot give it to you. You cannot receive what it is he has for you. So many of you guys may think that you don't believe because, you know, you may lack a little bit of faith here and there, but if you haven't given up and you're still fighting and you're still fighting to keep the faith and you're still doing what you need to do, your faith is bigger than what you even thought. You get what I'm saying? So just don't be hard on yourself. You know what I mean? Don't be hard on yourself. You have to remember something, like I said before, as long as you have faith, as long as you didn't give up, you're good. As long as you have faith and you didn't give up, you're good. Okay? I love you guys. Bye.